Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show where we're going to be talking about the fact the ABV Barrel Shop is vying for the best liquor store in Jefferson County, the county where we are domiciled in. Very exciting stuff here. My name is Steve Akeley. Hey, how's it going, guys? So yeah, just me by myself today and talking about the ABV Barrel Shop and the fact that we are up for this award and you guys can get involved in this. I'm going to tell you how to vote and things like that. And it's going to be open. Voting is going to be open for the next 2 weeks, and you can vote every day during that time frame. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. So for right now, just want to talk a little bit about ABV Barrel Shop and how it got started, the evolution of it, and where we're at today, and where the future of this thing's going to be. So the thing really got started, and I would say years and years before we ever opened, and really just as conversations, discussions. We used to pick barrels for Total Wine. Jim was the manager at one of the stores, but he was also in charge of barrel picks, initially for the 3 St. Louis stores. Then they added another one in Metro St. Louis, actually in Illinois. And he would do the barrel picks for all of them, and I would get involved in those. So he would bring me along, and we would both travel at our own expense, and but we would be picking for the Total Wine stores in this, just in the St. Louis area. And it was, really cool. But of course, anytime you're doing something like that, I mean, the barrel pick, what does it last? 2 hours. But if you're stacking up two days of them, you might have 6 hours worth of barrel pick time, and then the rest of the time it's just, a couple people talking. And we would talk about the idea of, man, what if you started a store that focused on barrel picks and, eliminated the other things? We just became a whiskey store. The initial idea for the shop was it was a whiskey store centric, but also would carry, other things, mixers and things like that. We're talking a store much bigger than the store that we have today is. So we're talking probably 3 or 4 times the size of it, but again, just whiskey. Very limited supply of other things. We thought we would have maybe some other distilled spirits, but again, more along the ideas of mixers. But you might pick up a couple tequilas, a couple vodkas, stuff like that. But for the most part, it would be very whiskey centric. And Jim and I did have a third partner. I won't say the guy's name. I don't know if he wants us to talk about it or not. Still a friend though to this day. And but he went so far down the road with us, and then decided, as we got ready to officially do this, he was in all the way till up until the point where we had to sign a lease, and then he made the decision to get out. So, so then it ends up being just Jim and I, and the two of us funded this thing ourselves. So we put together what money we could, which wasn't a lot. And, looking back, I can't even believe that we were able to do this for the amount of money that we put in. It was not a lot of money. And got this thing going. And so Jim and I find this place, and I believe it was Jim that actually found the actual location that we're in. He was the first one to see this place in Fox Valley. And we were looking at a bunch of other places. I think we probably had 10 different shops that we looked at through to finally find where we're at now. I think we end up, landing on the best place out of all of them, to be honest. So I'm really, I like where we're at. I think it's nice and accessible from the highway. I also think, it's budget conscious. So some of the other places might have been even more high profile in the St. Louis area, but we wouldn't have been able to afford it. We'd have been done before we got started, really, especially with the low amount that we got going with. So Fox Valley in Arnold ends up being perfect for us. And Jim and I get this thing going. And of course, the idea initially is it's barrel picks and that's it. And, full barrels on everything. And that ends up being something that is not ideal. We hadn't built up the clientele where we could, buy full barrels and be able to turn them quick enough. So then you end up getting bogged down with inventory that you have to do something with because you have limited space. So you end up having to mark it down, and then you're selling it for a loss. And we struggled early on in both how to do the business and financially. And I don't think that's uncommon for new businesses, by the way. I don't think that's a knock at what we were trying to do. It just takes you a while to get your sea legs under you, and we certainly did that early on in the ABV Barrel Shop. Matter of fact, it's something that continued and kind of hit a crescendo in January of 2024, where we got in we had been picking barrels, and they all got dumped in us in December. And again, we've since learned this it was December of 2023 when that happened. Then we would see that it happens again in 2024, by the way. So it's a thing that distillers do is, I guess, they'll because we're dealing with a lot of small companies, they have a lot of other things going on and stuff like that. So they'll kind of put the barrel picks aside because they got to bottle them. It takes time away from doing other things that they need to do. But lo and behold, by the time the end of the year comes, they're like, we want to get this on the books for this year. So they push them out. And in December of 2023, they pushed out a lot. We got like 26 barrel picks in a month. That is, you're averaging almost, considering we're off for Christmas and, it's almost one a day at that point. And that's a lot. We were looking at, we had credit terms on a lot of them. So by that point, we had been in business long enough. We got credit terms. So we had 30 days, but 30 days wasn't enough time to sell through that inventory. So, we start getting a little crosswise financially, and going into 2023, I put some more of my own money in and stuff like that to keep us afloat. And, we had already signed a lease for the place next door too, and Jim had started working on that and got it almost ready to go. And unfortunately, he was dealing with some things and then had to take some time off, and that wasn't quite finished yet. And, we had some folks step up and willing to help us finish that. So we had 3 of our customers just say, hey, what do we need done to get that thing open so you guys can get it rolling? So I had a list of things that needed to be done. Those guys did all of them. We were able to get our occupancy permit and get open, which was great. And so the speakeasy opens up. And again, where were we at on that thing? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if we knew when that fit in totally. It was a new space. It was, we knew we had some memberships. We had sold about 30 or something like that. And so we had a contingent of people that were lined up to be part of it. But what do you do with that? How does that help your business? So unfortunately, Jim passes away in May 6, 2024. And, everything's just thrown up in the air and stuff like that. You have no idea what's going on. It's horrible. You're not expecting this. And you have to reset. And ultimately, you have to go on. I mean, the same thing, if the roles are reversed, I don't want this thing crashing and burning the ABV Barrel Shop. I want Jim, who's left if I'm gone, to pick the pieces up and keep going, because our idea was always to make this a legacy business. We wanted to make something that would last forever, at least through our lives, for sure, where, you had a place that people could go hang out and enjoy whiskey. And that meant there would be a time when we would turn this over to someone else. It wouldn't be just us, and our kids weren't interested had no interest. Mitch, the son of Jim, wasn't interested in the business. He has a great job. He's an engineer and things like that. And then he has another son, Jeff, who's a financial planner and kind of the other side of the state in Missouri. And, wasn't interested either. My daughter, Kat, not interested in the business. She's a chemist and she's also got a good job. So our kids weren't interested in the business. So we knew at some point we're going to turn this thing over. And we just wanted to create something that, was available, a place that even in retirement we could hang out at. That's kind of the idea. Jim and I would talk about that kind of stuff, that this is something that we're trying to build that, hopefully lasts forever. So, with the passing of Jim, I got to pick up the pieces and then we start deciding, and Darren becomes more involved in kind of the day-to-day planning at that point. Without Jim, I'm kind of this idea guy, but I throw a million things against the wall, and, how do you vet those through? So Darren became my sounding board. And one of the things Darren and I came up with is, because we did have a couple distillers reach out to us immediately, Art of the Spirits and Nobleton, saying they wanted to do a barrel pick for Jim to celebrate his life. And we thought, well, what if we did, our anniversary is always a big deal for us. What if we did because we have the Speakeasy open now, thanks to those customers. What if we did an event, and we get the food truck in and just make it a big thing and release those barrels during that time. And it ends up going great. I think it was truly one of the biggest turning points of the business in July of 2024, when we had our second anniversary party, and we got to see how the Speakeasy could help us, with events and things like that. And, it introduced a lot of new people to us too, because we had people signing up that wanted to come to a whiskey festival that weren't necessarily ABV Barrel Shop customers. So I think that becomes step one of us getting to where we're at today. The customers fixing up the Speakeasy and then utilizing the Speakeasy. That's really ground zero of getting the place turned around. And then the second thing that happens, just by happenstance, right around that same time, a guy comes in by the name of Bruzel. Now, I don't know who he is. I've heard of him because Seth Detling told me that he got interviewed by him and it's been a big deal for his business. That's all I knew. And I did watch the Bruzel visit with Seth Detling, but I fast forwarded through all the parts other than when Seth was talking, so you can kind of look on YouTube and you can move along and see. So I just looked at his parts basically. I didn't want to watch the whole video because it was a long video. So I watched that, and Bruzel comes in. I don't recognize him, but as he gets talking about that, I was like, is this? And because once you watch a video on YouTube, then a bunch more pop up, and then I did think I recognized the guy. I didn't know his name. That's why I called him Bruzy or whatever, and people still make fun of that and things like that. But I just, that wasn't done out of malice. I didn't know his name, but I kind of knew. So it's proved that I kind of knew who he was. But whatever. It ends up being huge for us though, because. And it's big to this day. This is the funny thing. I mean, unlike we've had other social media people come in, and it really doesn't move the needle, doesn't change anything. There aren't people flooding into your store because you've been on a YouTube video. So I take all those things with a grain of salt, and I didn't really think anything of the Bruzel video either. Even though Seth had said it was big for him, I honestly didn't think that it would play anything for us. But so that's like June of 2024 when Bruzel comes in to film, and he says it takes some time. This will probably be out in August, and sure enough, he was right. It comes out like early August, first week of August, and business explodes. We were probably getting 25 people a day coming in when it first came out, like the first week. It's people from St. Louis It's people who are traveling in for business and then see the video. And it makes sense the way he sets it up. On bourbon hunting in St. Louis, people watch it. Like I said, if they're traveling into the area, they're going to watch it because they might like bourbon and want to do hunting themselves. And here's our store, and here's me talking on a 15-minute segment within that video or whatever it is, and we get a lot of business from that. And like I said, to this day, we probably get, I don't know, between 3 and 10 people on a given day that'll come in and say, "Hey, I saw you on Bruzel." And so it still is happening. And the funny thing is, it's still happening for people in St. Louis. So, St. Louis is a big community, almost 3 million people when you're talking about the metro area. And, there's still people that, watch us, kind of noted it, and then take their time to come in. Because, again, greater St. Louis area, the drive-in can be more than an hour. So, people they get busy and stuff like that. But, people continue to come in, and some, drive specifically to see us from out of town, which is wild. Other people just, hey, I come and see family at Christmas or Thanksgiving every year in St. Louis. They put us on that list to come see then. So that's pretty cool. And then other people just in for business or festivals or concerts or whatever it is. If they're coming through the area, maybe just passing through, they'll come in and see us. So it continues to be a huge thing for us, the fact we're on Bruzel. And our business is just built. I say, from that point forward, and I always say that we're going to get to where we're at now. It was just going to take us longer because we don't have like a big budget to advertise and things like that. So how do you get to the place where you become people's go-to shop for whiskey? And I guess it's a combination of doing a festival that attracts new people and getting on a Bruzel video. I guess it really did help us. I think it just progressed our timeline quicker. Put it on fast forward. So I think we could get where we're at today, but it would have taken a couple more years. And I'm glad we didn't have to wait a couple years for it. It happened quicker, and the business has definitely turned around in the last year. So here we are getting ready to be about a year after the 2-year anniversary party and then the Bruzel visit and all that kind of stuff. And things are very different. The business is now profitable. I've been able to, at this point, pay myself back from all the money I had to put in. So that'll be all finished next month, which would be nice. And then some money starts coming back in too. I mean, that's the good thing is, my wife works, and over time, I've been able to pay myself back from what we had to go through to keep the place going, and but now I feel like we're on autopilot here. It's things are going really well, and pretty excited about what the future of the ABV Barrel Shop holds. So that's what makes what we've got going on now so exciting. We're definitely dedicated to a customer experience, and I think that the liquor store has, especially the ones that sell whiskey or focus on whiskey, has evolved quickly based on what we've done. I mean, I didn't know a liquor store that was trying to create a place to hang out before we came into town. This wasn't a thing. A liquor store, I always say, is a transactional business. You go in there, you see what you want. You might be able to taste some things. Some of them have a tasting bar or something like that. But that's about it as far as, things to interact and stuff like that. We set out to make it a place where you hang out. I saw that the average visit utilizing, Google, of course, which keeps track of everybody via their phones. And if you don't think Google's keeping track of everything via your phone, you're wrong. The average visit is, almost 2 hours in our place. That's crazy to think about. We're 1,000 square foot liquor store. And the fact that the average person is spending a couple hours there. And of course that, factors in the fact we got classes. A lot of people come in and sit at the tasting bar for hours. All that, is why those visits are so long. It's not someone coming in to look for a bottle and buy a bottle. It doesn't take you 2 hours to go through our place like that. So that tells me that we've been successful in building a model that makes people feel comfortable at home in a place they want to hang out. And I'm pretty proud of that. So pretty cool thing. So it's exciting now that we are being considered for, the Jefferson County Best of Awards via The Leader, which is our local newspaper in Arnold and Jefferson County. And it's pretty exciting that we would be considered for this, and very hopeful that we win. So We will see. For right now, though, I'm going to have a pour like we always do on the show, and it's going to be 10th Mountain. I don't know if you heard recently, my buddy Ryan Thompson of 10th Mountain, the billionaire, has had some success out in San Francisco, the Super Bowl of awards competitions. He is in the finals for the best small batch. And we've certainly seen our buddy Royce Neely go through that before, but now we've got Ryan Thompson is in the running here. He's down to the final 5 on that. And, if he wins that, he gets recognized as the best small batch bourbon, which means it's going to be the best small batch bourbon in the world, which is pretty fun to think about. So that's what I've got here. I've got their bourbon coming in at 115 proof. Let's give this thing a cork pop here, see what we got. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, decent. This is the one that was entered, by the way. So Ryan gave me this bottle when I was in Key West. So this is the one that we've got here. So I'm going to take a pour of that, take a quick drink. Yeah, man. This should win. Hopefully this is the best bourbon in the world. I think that it is a fantastic whiskey. So congratulations to Ryan and Sean, his distiller, and the entire team there that makes all this stuff happen. Really great stuff there, and I'm excited to see if they win. So that was a big award for them. We're going to talk about how we are up for a big award ourselves at the ABV Barrel Shop, and we'll get to that after the break. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Bumpers are unscripted, so go ahead. All right, he's got the Terminator glasses on for inspiration. Go ahead, here we go.
I'll be back. I'm not doing that, Steve. Come on.
And you're listening to The Bourbon Daily. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's Steve Akeley at the ABV Barrel Shop, and we are up for a big award, something that would mean a lot to us to win. Best of the best liquor store in Jefferson County. We've tried, for the last couple of years, we've been in the running to win the best liquor store in St. Louis. Haven't been successful yet, finishing in second place. And we're beat out by a big box retailer, which I'm not sure how that happens. I guess it's just name recognition. In reality, the experience can't be anywhere near as what we've got. Hopefully, at some point we win that. I feel like this could build us some momentum towards that. Taking home Best of Jefferson County would be pretty exciting. Certainly something that we would like to exhibit and display in the shop, and something that I'm very passionate about winning. I want to win this because it would be a validation. Of what we do. I know that Jim and I fought hard to win Best of St. Louis, and it would be an exciting first step to win the Best of Jefferson County. And we'll see what happens with this. But we would appreciate your vote. I've got a link in the description of this podcast, so I would encourage you to get involved and vote. And again, you could vote every day. We're not breaking the rules here. You are allowed to vote every day between now, May 15th, 2025 and May 29th. So it's open for a 2-week window here in May, and I encourage you to vote every day. So get your 14 votes in by voting for us literally every day starting today. So that link is in the description. And it'll be fun. Hopefully we win this thing and bring it home, and it would be awesome. So that's all we're doing today, just asking for that, giving you a little background about the store itself and things like that, so you know what is going on, kind of the roller coaster that we've gone through to get to this point. And I think this would be an incredible, just kind of an icing on the cake type of thing to be recognized as to what we're doing. I think it would be really cool, and I'd appreciate your vote and your multiple votes over time for sure. So thank you so much for listening today. Of course, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.